nostalgia lingers. Once she thought you were wonderful. You thought she was too. Recalling Remember Me. Try to remember when you're at home. Some of those beautiful times. Many the moments we felt we were one. I do remember it all. Your look, your smile, your touch, so comforting. Remember thoughts that were unspoken, yet so clear, so very clear. Oh, don't you remember me? Like Cupid taking darts from his quiver and tossing them right into your heart. Why must we only be you and me, remembering there were times two hearts were close and beat as one. Love had begun. Oh, don't you remember when you remember? Try to remember me. Remember Me really was one of the first love songs that I wrote, but I think you can have other connotations to things that make an impression on your mind. I like to revert, again, taking poetic liberty as the composer in this case, to tell you a couple of stories. These are golf related. The first story involves a 13-year-old advanced kid golfer who was teaching his father how to golf. He was standing behind his father, who was working with a 7-iron. Inadvertently, when the father went to do his backswing, the head of the club struck his son in his right frontal area, causing a depressed skull fracture with it being stuck actually in his head. So he came to the operating room. We removed the club. The patient was awake but not feeling well. And I took him to surgery, removed the club, repaired the depressed skull, removed all the bones from the shattered skull, cleaned up the epidural hematoma, the blood clot, and portions of the brain that was somewhat necrotic, and then repaired the skull defect with a cranioplasty repair to fit exactly the contours of his head. He made a terrific recovery, did fine, went on to the rest of his life uneventfully. But can you imagine how disconsolate his father felt in doing this inadvertent swing into his son's head? You can imagine the disconsolate feeling of his father, the overwhelming remorse hearing the surprising cracking sound of the club head shattering his son's head, leading to his surgery. This is a sound that the father told me has haunted him for many, many years. Next, there's another golf story. This is about an impatient golfer awaiting the tee off. So there was a fellow standing on the tee, and he felt that the people on the fairway were taking an inordinate amount of time. So he became restless, and what he did, he started running down the fairway with his golf club and started a fight with the golfer. It turned out that the golfer happened to be a police officer, and he struck him in the back of his head with one of the irons, causing a depressed skull fracture, and this landed into the occipital lobe of the skull near the calcarine fissure. Well, this is an area that happens to control your vision. We were able to get him to the hospital, repair the damage, take him to surgery, but he was left with a permanent deficit of a homonymous heminopsia. That means that he lost half the vision in each eye. In other words, he could still see and get along, and actually you can even drive with that kind of a problem, but nonetheless he did have some serious visual damage. The offender was apprehended. He was found guilty of assault with attempt to kill, and I don't know the final outcome of his sentence.